If you've ever stood in an auto parts store staring at rows of brightly labeled fuel additives, I've been there too. It feels like every single one claims to unlock quicker starts, cleaner engines, or better miles per gallon. But after years around mechanics, I learned most of those bottles aren't worth it. In fact, some of them will do nothing at all besides cost you $15 a pop. In this video, I'll share the 10 additives mechanics quietly warn their friends never to buy. Number 1. Chlorinated additives. Have you ever noticed a bottle on the shelf claiming it protects metal parts using chlorine compounds? The idea sounds convincing. After all, chlorine is often marketed as a shield against wear, but here's the problem. Those additives don't guard your fuel system. They actually help create the very damage they promise to prevent. Inside your tank and lines, chlorine can react with fuel and moisture to form acidic byproducts. Over time, those acids corrode metal components, chew through pump seals, and even accelerate rust inside fuel lines. Mechanics often see vehicles where long-term use has left interiors of pumps scarred or seals eaten apart. Repairs from this damage aren't cheap, and the end result is that the additive shortens the lifespan of expensive parts instead of extending it. For that reason, pros call chlorinated additives one of the most harmful myths still sold today. Number 2. Diesel octane boosters. Why would diesel drivers ever need an octane booster when diesel engines don't even run on octane in the first place? That single question exposes the problem. These bottles look technical on the shelf, but the label itself is already misleading. They borrow gasoline language to make diesel buyers think they're adding performance, when in reality the numbers don't even apply. Diesel engines operate on cetane ratings, which measure ignition quality, not octane resistance. Pouring in an octane booster does nothing to improve combustion in a diesel. At best, it's wasted money. At worst, the extra chemicals can gum up injectors or interfere with the fuel's natural lubricating properties. Once drivers realize the mismatch, the trick becomes clear. These products are just marketing fluff dressed up in fuel science, and mechanics shake their heads because they target confusion, not real needs. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Number 3. Alcohol heavy cleaners. On the surface, alcohol-heavy cleaners look like miracle workers. You pour them into your tank and right away it feels like they're scrubbing away grime from your fuel system. The reality is that yes, alcohol can dissolve certain deposits, but it also strips away the lubricating qualities your engine parts need to survive. Modern fuel pumps and injectors rely on that thin film of lubrication to operate smoothly under high pressure. When alcohol dries out the seals or removes that film too often, the result is premature wear, sometimes complete failure. Mechanics repeatedly see customers frustrated by failing pumps, only to admit they were using these cleaners religiously. Instead of preventing expensive fixes, regular use pulls moisture from seals and leaves components brittle. What feels like a cleansing routine ends up more like dehydrating critical engine parts. Number 4. Teflon-based additives. Why would you ever want the same non-stick coating from a frying pan inside your engine? That's exactly what Teflon-based fuel additives promise, but the claim doesn't hold up under real conditions. These products suspend PTFE, the chemical name for Teflon, in a liquid and suggest it will coat moving parts. In reality, the granules are too large to bond effectively to metal surfaces during combustion or fuel flow. Even more telling, DuPont, the company that created Teflon, never recommended PTFE for use inside engines. Mechanics report more clogged strainers and blocked oil passages from this sludge than any noticeable benefit. Instead of slick performance, you're left with sticky buildup where precision is critical. At the end of the day, you're essentially pouring useless plastic into machinery designed for clean fuel. Mechanics dislike these additives precisely because they deliver no real protection, only extra repair bills. Number 5. Snake oil MPG boosters. Gain 10% fuel economy instantly. That's the kind of bold promise plastered across bottles of so-called MPG boosters. The claim sounds tempting when fuel prices climb, but here's the truth. No independent lab has ever confirmed these results in modern vehicles. Engines today are already designed to burn fuel as efficiently as possible, leaving no room for magic fixes in a bottle. Take the story of one frustrated driver. After months of pouring in bottle after bottle, he started tracking his mileage carefully. The outcome? Not a single measurable change at the pump. Mechanics aren't surprised. They see these products constantly pitched at cash registers, even though the bottles contain little more than marketing language. Every test shows the same conclusion. Miracle mileage, claims collapse under scrutiny. If gains were real, automakers would include the additives straight from the factory. Number 6. Metallic catalyst additives. Imagine pouring a bottle into your tank that claims tiny metal particles will act as catalysts, sparking microscopic reactions to burn fuel more completely. Sounds like futuristic science, right? That's exactly how metallic catalyst additives are marketed. The promise is that with trace amounts of metals like manganese or iron, combustion efficiency suddenly improves. But here's the reality. Your engine wasn't designed to process fuel laced with metals. Instead of giving you cleaner combustion, those particles often leave behind deposits that foul oxygen sensors, coat spark plugs, and clog the honeycomb structure inside a catalytic converter. Mechanics working on vehicles treated with these additives often pull engines apart only to find hardened residue baked into valves and chambers. So instead of unlocking hidden efficiency, these concoctions actually shorten the lifespan of emission systems, making them a perfect example of science fiction sold as fuel science. Number 7. Diesel gel breakers. Every winter, fuel aisles fill with flashy bottles claiming to stop diesel from turning into a waxy gel. The idea plays on a real fear. Anyone who's seen thickened diesel knows it can strand a vehicle. But here's the catch. In regions where cold weather is common, diesel sold at the pump already contains effective anti-gel agents blended in before it reaches your tank. Adding gel breaker products on top doesn't just waste money, it can upset the balance of the fuel. Extra chemicals may reduce lubricity, which engines rely on to protect high-pressure pumps, and some formulas even clog filters with unwanted residues. Mechanics point out that the breakdowns they fix often trace back to drivers using these additives instead of simply filling up with winter-grade diesel. The result is redundancy packaged as protection, a scare tactic more than a solution. Number 8. Lead substitutes. For many longtime car enthusiasts, bottles of lead substitute carry a sense of nostalgia. They remember when leaded gasoline was standard, and adding a splash of these products feels like keeping that old connection alive. The problem is that today's engines no longer require it. Modern valves and seats are built from hardened materials designed to withstand the stress that lead once cushioned. When drivers pour in substitutes, they often introduce additives that leave behind sticky residues. Mechanics have seen cases where spark plugs foul or knocking occurs simply because someone tried to recreate old school fuel. Instead of protecting anything, these deposits complicate combustion and make fuel burn less clean than it should. What makes it worse is that the products play on emotion rather than necessity, which is why mechanics view them as a step backward for otherwise reliable engines. Number 9. Overconcentrated PEA knockoffs. Polyethyramine, or PEA, is one of the few fuel additive ingredients that has real cleaning ability when used at the right level. Quality products use carefully controlled doses to remove buildup without stressing fuel system components. But cheaper knockoffs try to look more powerful by cramming in excessive concentrations. That extra strength comes at a cost. Overloaded formulas can attack the very seals and injectors they're supposed to protect, drying them out or clogging fine passages. Instead of giving you a cleaner system, you're left with a repair bill for parts that only wore out faster. Mechanics quickly recognize these bottles, usually low-priced options promising huge results, as products that generate problems rather than prevent them. Number 10. Mystery all-in-one bottles. You've probably seen those flashy all-in-one bottles on the shelf claiming to do everything at once. Stabilize fuel, clean injectors, boost octane, add lubrication, and even improve mileage. It sounds like the ultimate shortcut, but when one product promises to handle 5 different jobs, that should immediately raise questions. Chemistry doesn't allow a single additive to tackle all those functions effectively, especially when each requires different formulations. Take a closer look at the labels and you'll notice how vague they are. Many don't list percentages of active ingredients or even specify how the product accomplishes so many claimed benefits. That's a major red flag. Stories from drivers are all too familiar. They try these bottles only to see no change in performance or fuel economy at all. Instead of pouring cash into shiny bottles, the smarter move is simple. Stick to your manufacturer's maintenance schedule and rely on the fuel standards already built into today's supply. Do some research before adding anything to your tank, and share this video so others know which products to avoid the next time they find themselves at the checkout aisle.